On December the 6th, 1980, the nuclear carrier U.S.S Nimitz disappeared in the Pacific and reappeared December 6th, 1941, off the coast of Pearl Harbor. The final countdown is about to begin.
In 1980, the final countdown was released into theaters, and it had a very interesting premise to it. What would happen to an aircraft carrier if it was thrown back in time to the day before the attacks on Pearl Harbor? On paper, this may have been a very good idea, but in actuality, this film was a major letdown in so many ways. You had a great cast, and the background was the actual aircraft carrier, the U.S.S Nimitz. The aircraft carrier had only been in service 4 years and was one of the most technologically advanced carriers for the time. In fact, it was the first to have a nuclear reactor on board. When I was a kid, I thought this was an amazing movie, but looking back on it now, I realize that this was just such a disappointing failure. As I said before, the aircraft carrier itself was amazing, with the most recent and modern technology available to it and the most advanced military aircraft at its disposal. You would think that we would be getting one of the most amazing stories to come out of cinema. The idea of F-14 Tomcats going up against Japanese fighter planes from 1941, well, there's no contest there. Now, to be fair about it, we did get one little scene between two F-14s and some Japanese fighter planes, a minor little skirmish between the two of them. It was no contest. The problem with this movie is that it really doesn't accomplish anything. It drags us through the story of this ship being thrown back in time. They're there for one day, and it really has no consequence to the history of the United States or the world.
Every man on this ship knows that we have radar and visual contact with the Japanese fleet approaching Pearl Harbor on December the 6th, 1941. Now, what do we do about it?
It opens up some amazing possibilities. Think of the firepower of the U.S.S Nimitz back in 1941. I'm talking about the classic paradox of time. Imagine, for example, I go back in time to meet my own grandfather, long before he got married, before he had children. And we have an argument, and I kill him. Now, if that happens, how am I ever going to be born? And if I can never be born, how can I go back in history and meet my very own grandfather?
Let's take it one step at a time and by the book. The United States of America falls under attack. Our job is to defend her. The past, present, and future.
And after that?
After that, we take our orders from the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
Now think about that for a moment. This is basically what we get throughout this entire movie. We get a debate back and forth of whether they should or should not enter the war or stop the Japanese from attacking Pearl Harbor. That is really what this whole movie is about. There is no major action that takes place, no consequences of interfering or not interfering. There's a hostage situation on the ship when they take aboard one of the downed pilots from that F-14 Japanese fighter plane skirmish. But beyond that, there's really not much we get from this movie. We get more and more debate back and forth about whether or not they should get involved. We also continuously get reminded of what happens or what's about to happen.
26 November, 6 carriers left the Core Isles, north of Japan.
11月26日、6隻の空母が千島列の空母を出発した。
The carriers were the Kangni, Tongna, Shokaku, Zuikaku, Hiryu, Soryu. Tomorrow at dawn, these carriers will send 353 planes to attack Pearl Harbor.
The sad thing about this movie is that it really boils down to this movie only being about one very important thing. These two right here. That's really what this is about. He is the real reason that the Nimitz went back in time. He is the CAG of one of the strike groups aboard the U.S.S Nimitz, and when he is ordered to drop off Senator Samuel Troutman and his secretary on a desert island, he and the secretary get stranded on the island, and the ship goes forward in time, and the next thing we see them, he is the man responsible for helping to create the U.S.S Nimitz. He controls Tideman Industries. He is in the future, he is Mr. Tideman. And he helped develop all this equipment that's on that particular aircraft carrier and that the USS military uses in this time period. That's what this movie is all about. It's a loop. The ship goes back in time so he can get lost, and then the ship goes forward in time to find him is the one who built the ship. The movie had so much potential, and to me, it was a major letdown. One last thing I want to talk about here is something that happened at the beginning of the movie that really drives me crazy. And the audience is expected to believe that no one aboard this ship could figure this out until the last minute.
Sir? What do you think it is? Wasn't there on the morning run?
What I'm talking about here is the time tunnel that this ship will encounter in just a few moments. The radar weather detection system aboard the ship has seen it. One picture shows it there, next one shows it's gone, then the next one shows it there, and the next one shows it gone. No one seems to see this until the ship is right on top of it.
It should be down, and it's way up.
What the hell is that?
It seems to have a cycle, sir. One run it's there, the next one is clear. One run it's there, the next one is clear. I've never seen anything like it.
You have a fleet of destroyers out there with the Nimitz. You have fighter planes coming in for landing aboard the carrier, and not a single one of them can see this thing coming at them. You have crewmen on the deck. Not a single person can see it.
Heads up, green deck, land aircraft.
My God.
As I said before, nobody saw this thing coming. Yet, when Black Cloud is informing the captain about how it's 1 minute it's there, next minute it isn't on the pictures from the radar, you can see it. It's coming, it's vanishing, it's appearing, it's vanishing, it's appearing, and no one on the flight deck can see what's happening. No aircraft landing can see it, and they should be able to because they're flying into the same direction that it is coming to. This is absolutely some of the most lazy writing that I have ever seen.
Matt, what the hell's going on here?
Admiral, I don't know where to begin.
Aircraft carrier getting lost in the Pacific Ocean. What kind of Navy is this?
I'll never believe it.
They'll never believe it? Why wouldn't they believe it? You've got plenty of evidence to prove what happened. You've got a dead Japanese soldier in your morgue. You've got your missing CAG. You've got a helo that's missing. You have got satellite imagery. Well, never mind satellite imagery. You've got recon plane images of Pearl Harbor from 1941. And you're telling me that you will have no way of proving what happened? There have been movies out there that have told us stories about what would happen if you changed the past, how it would affect the future. And Back to the Future is a perfect example of that story, of that premise. Final Countdown doesn't even give us any glimpse, any taste of what that would be like. It would have been a real interesting story if the ship had gone back in time and stopped Pearl Harbor. The storm appears, pulls them forward, and they get to see what happens in the future. And then the storm appears again, and they have to go back in time to repair the damage. This would have been a great story. But again, this is not what we got, and I am really disappointed in this film. Have you seen the final countdown? What do you think of the movie? Honestly, after reviewing this movie, and it's been a while since I've watched it, but after looking at it, it almost feels more like it was a recruiting film more than it was anything else. I remember when Top Gun came out, naval officers and recruiting booths were all at almost every theater in my hometown. And I just think that that's what this movie really was about, recruiting people into the military. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, so please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.